Hello there everyone and welcome back. Things have been going well. I like to sync my fleet so far, although some of the higher level battles seem like they're starting to get a little bit lackluster. It's hard to say if it's just my opponents don't know how to deal with Tau, which is more than likely the case to be fair, because they can be pretty damn intimidating with the bombers, never mind the fact that their sheer defense potential with the adaptive deflectors can be a pain in the ass too, so I'm honestly not certain there. But nonetheless, that second match with the crew Warsphere, I don't know how. I feel like I'm okay with it ultimately, because after all, this thing is already going 75 units a second. I don't think I want to drag out everyone's time by feudlessly attempting to go after something that's 3 times faster than me. But nonetheless, I did learn something very important with this crew Warsphere, and that's the ability, I'm hoping, to prioritize what I want to shoot at there with the prioritization system. So maybe I got lucky there with it just naturally shooting what I want, but hopefully that will make focusing down targets a lot more effective for me. So nonetheless, let's get ready to continue on forward. But I also need to say one other thing before we get started, that I don't want to leave false impressions that maybe multiplayer is as plentiful as it seems, because really there's only like 100 players, less than that are playing off the peak hours, and like, what is it? The time that I normally play at least is around 4 p.m. Eastern, roughly, for about an hour, 2 hours, somewhere within that window, and that's when we have about 150, 200 players online. So I don't want to start giving the false impression that maybe matches are easy to get into. Really, if you can hit that sweet spot, then the queues are actually relatively decent, but not perfect. Oh boy, we're fighting yet again another Space Marine fleet, so I'm gonna start feeling bad if this becomes a consistent thing. Although Demiurge, depending how slow I can make him, and if I get a little bit lucky with the Astra Belt, I could charge up a good mine laser for the Demiurge ambush, at least for any chapter master I may have there, because if I don't have the sheer burst potential, this could go badly for me nonetheless, because if he bum rushes, charges the station, he may be able to weather the storm, even with the sheer number of bombers I have, unless I bring the Custodian. The Custodian has the burst potential. Am I willing to commit to it, though, is the ultimate question. It kind of suits it, although it suits it considering the Custodian is meant to stand its ground and take all the damage in all seriousness. Is that what I want? Because I'm not going to be able to feel two sauces with this. So let's plan out our fleet properly. This sounds as perfect as it could be, but it sounds kind of silly to have a messenger in here when I have the Custodian, to be perfectly honest, too. Now, this is a weird thought. I was thinking maybe I could get the Bastion as well as the Castellan, but no. This will be a little bit weird. Maybe it encourages a bit of a flank maneuver for me there. I don't know how ultimately this will work, because if the Manta Bombers can hit, then they can kill things quickly. And this justifies what I at least intend to have the Custodian serve. It's supposed to soak all the damage, it's supposed to draw all the fire, ideally. Although, with bombardment cannons, double battle barges, it may not be the best idea. I feel like with Brace for Impact, the fact that he can just weather railgun fire so well, if he knows what he's doing, means I need to rely on my bombers and just anything Norse armor to kill him quickly. I feel like, anyway. Because once he gets on the station, this thing should potentially die quickly. It ultimately comes down to luck on what kind of critical hits he gets, mind you, but I feel like there's a little bit of a luck factor there. But it is nice to send the Custodian out nonetheless, even though I do feel awful for probably feeling it if this goes horribly for our Space Marine friend. And I think I also send a messenger with the Warrens just to help deter any Thunderhawks without maybe needing to use a solid run. That's the hope, anyway. At least spot for me, get some seeker missiles going, and these will just stand the ground, because yeah, with the space station I have a whopping, what, 12 bomber waves? 2 of which of course don't have the energy shields, but this is probably going to get a little bit silly and a little ridiculous. And where will he deploy? I kind of feel he'll deploy over here, because obviously the Astral Belt's kind of in the middle. So I don't know where he will want to go, but let's at least make it awkward for him, since I don't really have those choke points to kind of abuse using the minefield as, like, to deter him to an alternate path, although is refusing to cooperate. This will deter him, if nothing else, since this is like the only easy spot he can hide himself. And he is going there. Okay, so that paid off.
Aircraft ready for orders.
We'll just try and spawn him there, deter him a bit, and... Oh yeah, I forgot... Oh wait, I was gonna say, I forgot to group up my Custodian and Protector, but they're in opposite groups right now. So, this should be nice and simple for me for dealing with the boring torpedoes. And what is it? 4 strike cruisers is what I'm looking at. I see at least 3. Although one of them could easily be a battle barge. Although 600 points is a strike cruiser and... Or 2 strike cruisers and battle barge. So I don't think the points line up if he has a 4th ship, mind you. So I feel like maybe this is 4 or 4 strike cruisers. So this is going to get a little ridiculous. Okay, he has a hunter. That's all I know there. He could... Actually, another side, he could be in the lower admiral level than me, which means he does have a battle barge and he's getting bonus points for this hunter that I just revealed. So we'll try and be generous. This is going to get a little ugly. This will get a little too ugly, I suppose, if the fact he's lower level is accurate. But we'll weather the storm. This is the true value that I have of the Custodian, that impenetrable wall against these kind of torpedo strategies. And do I have a beacon? I only have a single beacon, so let's be smart with how we use that. And also, there, we got a nice solid hit there. That'll intimidate him. That might force a response. We'll see. I'm hoping to spot a little bit with these wardens and kind of like, oh, he's trying to be sneaky and shoot the torpedoes. Is he actually trying to be sneaky and shoot the torpedoes around me? I don't think he is. Now, this stasis bomb's gonna suck. Oh, he is a level 10 fleet, so I was completely wrong with that series. So how to... Oh, he has 700 points, that's why I'm an idiot. Now, I gotta be mindful to hold my fire, because the stasis bomb's gonna break things really quickly here. We gotta hold fire, otherwise that's gonna bug out my railgun fire. So, good damage on that. I need to have my escape path ready, though. I think it's the plan. These things will be fine. And I don't quite... Let's see. There, fire, unload. There's the supercharged void shield, that's fine. And reload may be a bit questionable, but... I have weaponry fire, I have messengers, I could deal with his torpedoes easily enough. This battle barge needs to die. I do have 75 armor. Yeah, this is not gonna be pretty. All I need is my bombers to come up at this kind of range, and it's going to be nightmarish. But he could have Thunderhawks come up at the perfect time to help shoot these down. And that is why the Custodian is ridiculous. We just did like half its health there instantly. Although he did just damage my prow. Was that my prow that was temporarily damaged? I'm wondering... Okay, Seeker missiles are out, so that actually was temporary damage. Which ultimately means I lose my 75 armor, which, if that had happened earlier, that would be a huge deal. That actually would be pretty significant, because I think that's a bug that doesn't allow me to get my deflector back up. Alright, I'll let you warp out there. I think. I don't know why the other one isn't warping out, but that's fine. That'll be rectified in a moment. Yeah, that was brutal. It goes without saying. The Custodian was dying fast, though. I'm just trying to figure out what was killing it. Was it because it exploded after my deflector got destroyed? Because that would make a big difference there. The 50 armor versus the 75. But still, I think the curfew is back up on the Custodian for now. It's nice to bring it out there, but of course, it's a little bit too good at what it does, I suppose. Although ultimately, it's not... The burst damage is the reason why I want to field the Custodian. It's more, like I said before, to soak the damage to draw all the fire. It may be questionable if Space Marines is the best kind of fleet to go up against for soaking fire, considering they have the bombardment cannon, which I personally would argue is probably the best generic weapon in the game. Best weapon in case of how it performs ultimately all around. Because it's guaranteed critical hits if you equipped it properly. It ignores armor. It's a turret, 270 degrees, as well as the big 45 damage just on the hit itself. I feel like that's like one of the most powerful weapons you can get. Mind you, it's very restrictive considering the strike cruisers only can get a single one, and the battle barge, while fearsome with 3, it does make its other macro cannons don't look nearly as potent and fearsome. just because of armor piercing alone, I feel like. Alright, I'm gonna restrain from using the Custodian again there. Because again, at least I said all my reasons already. I don't think Space Marines would be the best there. Although, if I was doing that kind of strategy like we've seen before when I was playing as Space Marines, then those Manta Bombers are a huge pain in the ass. I just don't think it's like how I want to use the Custodians would be very practical here. And I gave you my reasons on that already. But Protectors with their mobility, their ability to disengage is going to be pretty good. And this is a window to use the Bastion as well. So let's try and make this a little more serious and not actually get an easy win, I suppose. Since he wants to fly into my Manta Bomber so much. But ideally, let's see, I want to Sauce to level 8. I can't remember how close it is to level 8, mind you. But everything's getting leveled up. The dream, hopefully, before I stop playing Tau, is to get this Kroot Warsphere level 6. Nonetheless, we know he's a level 10 fleet, so I know he is equipped for this. It's not like I'm going to be picking on a lower lane, or was it a lower level fleet anymore, so let's play it seriously there. It's going to be tricky to find value in the Sauces unless he decides to lock on again like he did before. In which case, they should be able to do the most type of damage outside the Manta Bombers, here's hoping, since he is resorting to staying with the 75 armor as opposed to getting what? Assuming he has a Chapter Master, a guaranteed 100% chance to deflect all my shots, all my railguns and secret missiles, so I'll be fine with that. Let's see, 3 ships so far. That could mean anything, because he still has more to deploy, so 4 ships, so this is not the double battle barge. This could very well be the same fleet we saw before. Now, the Bastion unfortunately is not going to get charged up, but do we have a wreckage? Ooh, I was excited for a moment that that was a wreckage that it could charge. I want to figure out my positioning, because this thing could still do a lot of damage. It's just not going to have the burst damage is the big thing, so I wonder if I could do something sneaky here and just delay. I don't know how much I like it, mind you, but I wonder if I could bait him away from the gas cloud to kind of sneak in a charge. Well, we'll see how it plays out, mind you, but this opens up another window, if nothing else, for my Bastion. Okay, so he's going through the middle there. I'm kind of fine with that. We'll take our time with this and see how this plays out. I have the mobility there. If he's got the strike cruisers, I can outrun him. And yeah, this looks like the same fleet as before. So he can rest easy. I do not have the Custodian to murder him. But if I can get that charge, that'd be the best thing I can get. But if I could destroy one of his cruisers and use that as a wreck to charge my beam, that'd be even better. Because there's not much need to have the Demiurge just recklessly go in there, in all honesty. So I think we're fine just taking our time and trying to bait out some of his beacons, stasis bombs, everything he has. Because I don't want to stand my ground, I just want to kind of burn his resources. And then ideally strike when he's his weakest. Although I don't know what's considered weakest against Space Marines when they have 75 armor all around, mind you, but I like the potential nonetheless. And I have 4 beacons on me here, so I have lots of means to force an engagement, as far as detect them anyway. And he is auto-casting his Stormhawk, so that's not going to be very exciting there. I do need to be mindful my Manta Bombs are probably not going to be very effective until those get shot down, though. So we'll have to be very, very careful, and that's also part of the problem with him charging aggressively as he did, because he didn't have those Stormhawks as a result from me shooting him down. Never mind the fact if he did have Thunderhawks, that would be really useful for him too, to kind of like get that extra bit of like defensive fighter or shots in before I can, what is it? I'm losing my train of thought because I'm waiting for the moment to kind of spot him here. So he has a Vanguard this time. So he's already braced for impacting, that's fine. Burn your brace for impact. So let's get ready to start disengaging then. Because I got the evasion, although those bombardment cannons are already eating through my ship already, so... Did my Manta Bombers do any damage? Nope. His strike cruisers dealt with them. Mine did only 2 strike. Alright. And he's also getting lances too, so he's trying to metagame me some here. Am I outside of his range? I'm outside of his range there, so... Let's try and stall. This is a one main weakness there. like I said, I'm getting metagamed here now, so... And he should only have... what is it? Yeah, he should only have 9,000 meters in the best case situation, so... I have lock on still. I can disengage, I can solid run if needed. And my bombers are going to come back up in a moment here, so... Just gotta be careful. Yeah, he's going to do a lot of damage to these things just because of the lance fire.
Disengaging pure tide command link.
So, let's kill this Vanguard quickly. And ideally, just murder him and hopefully do damage. I'm not going to have my assault run available, but if the Manta Bombers do this thing, this is going to hurt still. Sadly, not the case there. Yeah, and I don't have my Bastion here at least, so running off like that was probably not the best idea. We are doing more damage there. Generator's gone in that thing. Engines are gone. Sadly, I did repair that, so I'm not going to have access to that anytime soon. So let's bring the Bastion back. So that's a little bit awkward positioning. And micro warp jump on what? Okay, I do have boosters still going. They did mitigate a lot of those fires, the damage. And now both my engines are gone, but at least that was temporary hit. Now, I do have brace for impact. Let's try and weather the storm as best we can. He is locking on, mind you. So I'm hoping to fix this some. The Lances won't be too much of a pain because the Vanguard's pretty much useless at this point, so... I just wish I saved those repairs sooner. Also, I was trying to wonder why your weaponry didn't activate there. So it's a bit of a shame that my Demiurge could not be contributing as much as I like, but it'll get here at some point. I am repairing the damage as much as I can. And he doesn't have the bomb bombardment cans on these things as much, so... Can the Bastion get here? No, get this thing out of here. It can mitigate that damage really well, especially with him ignoring the sauces. The Lances are going to be a bit of a pain though, still. But I still have repair drones going, so that's fine.
For Anvar, it will be so.
And assault run will be up in 20 seconds, maybe. And I don't know why my sauces are turning around here. That's a bit of a mistake. So. But if I can start killing something, that makes up for this easily. Although my cooldowns are really out of whack now. For whatever reason. Because I thought I launched my Manta Bombers and they didn't do anything. Either way, we could disengage just fine. I have more speed than him. I have solid run to keep this thing alive. So, and Demiurge, you're just gonna go do your thing. Now, the Lances are a bit of a pain here, but this is why I said before the Lances are so good at negating my one strengths with the air cache. So this Sauce is about to die. I'm not quite gonna get to do the damage I need to. Oh well. It just gives me incentive to bring the Custodian again then. Because the Lances I can deal with a lot better than his bombardment cans. So yeah, it's too late for the Demiurge to get in here, alas. That was a big mistake trying to do the long game, because I figured I could actually disengage. That was part of my reasoning there. Alright. So I do have health points, maybe to mitigate this some. We'll see what happens. Alright. I thought I was being clever with that, but no. Actually, maybe I should just warp out, preserve the fleet, get the experience, because I want the experience, and this will give me an opportunity to take this a little more seriously, I guess. But like I said, I'm being metagamed. He wouldn't have had those Lances as we've seen with his last fleet. Although that was probably bad time. Yeah, it's dead anyway. Alright. That's a bit of a shame. Because it comes down to the argument, how serious of a match can I take this then? In all seriousness, if I'm game metagamed. But, like I said, let's bring the Custodian. Let's see if we can correct this. Because yeah. If the Demiurge was in there, it would actually get focused down really heavily, in all honesty, so... Because it wouldn't have the burst potential to kill something quickly, so yeah. Weird layout, and of course, maybe I should have committed regardless, so I'm still two minds about how that played out. Because the Demiurge is still really damn important for that burst damage, and it still has that burst damage anyway. The big problem is committing with the Demiurge. Because once I jump this thing in here, I'm going to have to commit, no questions asked, so... In all honesty, maybe I don't bring the Custodian. Instead, let's try this differently with the Demiurge. With the Bastion actually not being AWOL. If I get a rematch with him.
Mining ship underway.
Because if he's going to metagame me, then how bad would it feel for him if he still were to lose? So that's the strategy there. Let's continue with this fleet. Maybe I go with 3 protectors because I'm going to need the extra bombers. And of course the Sauces are kind of like sitting ducks because of the lances. They're too fragile in this situation, so... We could go with the 3 Sauces and the Demiurge. I'm fine with that, I think. And it will ultimately be stronger for the burst damage potential if he gets his fleet isolated. So, I am looking forward to this rematch. Now, let's repair quickly and hopefully we get him before someone else does, I suppose. Aw, unfortunately it's not going to be the rematch I was hoping for, damn it. Because in all seriousness, I did have the points to actually field the Bastion 3 protectors. That would have been a lot of armor piercing potential there. Even if the Bastion didn't get its cutting laser charge, it would have soaked a lot of fire, especially with its additional 200 health it would have over the protectors, and I wouldn't have had the weak links with my Sauces, with how fragile they potentially are against such heavy lance plays, so it's a shame we're not going to get to witness that, but there's always the possibility for the next match, I suppose. But I am really excited to try and use the Warsphere on a real Imperial Navy fleet. Well, by real I mean Admiral level 8, so I would love to see how that works, how effective it can be, because the Sauces still function pretty well in this matchup here, I want to feel, because after all, they have the mobility, far superior mobility in comparison to the Imperial Navy, and of course they're not hopefully going to get murdered too quickly by lances, but you could very well have some kind of like, why am I having a messenger? I don't even think he's going to have bombers. Well, I lost my train of thought, but it's possible he may be fielding all Nova cannons. That could be a possibility. In which case, my Sauces are going to have a little bit of difficulty evading that, but maybe the strategy then is to keep them with my protectors so that way the repair drones can help heal them. Although that clumps me up to makes me very susceptible for multiple ships getting hit by Nova cannons, so there's a lot of things to keep in mind with that all said. But nonetheless, let's give this a try. I like to have the Warsphere participate, although let's not position our fleet in such a way that it's out in the middle of nowhere, where the Warsphere cannot contribute, kind of like how the poor Bastion was in the last match there. Let's try to avoid that if at all possible, so I think without a doubt the Warsphere should go through the middle, but I do need to move my protectors a little bit just so it minimizes the chance the Warsphere takes a hit from the torpedoes he may be firing. And the Castellan's going to go with the Sauces, I think. It's kind of long-range focus oriented, so it should be fine. And I have beacons that kind of serve as a little bit of detection now. I'm assuming he's going to come at me aggressively, so I should go Monka, right? Because I'm not going to have the long-term fire unless I feel like the Sauces can fire unhindered. I really do want to play more with Kion. Let's see. So he's overall on the right there, 6 ships, so not 4 cruisers is all I know, so could be 3 frigates and 3 cruisers. How do the points line up in that regard, I wonder? Nonetheless, it works for my Sauces. They naturally get to be behind the protectors in that case. It's this Warsphere that's going to be a little bit tricky, and I'm hoping I didn't place you in a way that's going to fly you through an asteroid belt. That would really suck there. So, Imperial Navy favor, or Inquisition favor, that's fine. Not that it's a big deal, its cooldown is the same as my assault run. Although, technically, there's nothing he can use to abuse that very well, aside from maybe prioritizing targets, and let's see. So that's gotta be a 3 frigate swarm then. Kinda given away by the fact he used 3 Inquisition favors, so it's 3 frigates and 3 cruisers if I had to go and guess. Although he is kind of hugging that corner some. That's not really scary. Oh, he does have bombers, so 2 Marses then. Who knows what the third ship will be then, in that regard. But the protectors can take these hits amazingly. They have 300 shield health, which is the perfect amount for soaking up the damage of the Nova Cannons. Provided, of course, I don't take center damage for the 200 points. That would be the only caveat there. So I should be able to weather these Nova Cannons amazingly well. We just gotta make sure the protectors serve as adequate bait, with that said. So let's keep on moving. Keep an eye on my solid run time, because that basically is going to indicate when he can reveal me again. Not that's really a big deal, aside from maybe 15,000 range lances if he has that lance upgrade. But we know he has Marses of some kind. I want to feel... The lack of torpedoes suggests they're Marses, because where the hell would the torpedoes be if it was a Dictator, which is the other cruiser ship? Unless by chance it's an Emperor? Yeah, he's just playing slow. Fine. Be that way. I'm fine with that, just don't hit my Sauces, please. The Warsphere is going to be a little bit awkward, though. But I can flush him out of that gas cloud really well. Alright, so he reveals these ships. I would be really annoyed if somehow the crew Warsphere got revealed, even though it's technically... What is it? Losing my train of thought there. Yeah, it has the stealth alloy. That would have been annoying in that regard. But I think I'm good here. Let's get going. I don't think I have to worry too much because I've yet to see any torpedoes, any Nova Cannons, so I'm fine in that regard, and I'm revealed, so I don't need a solid run again. I'm still waiting for his shots, though. He's kind of withholding for whatever reason. And my Warsphere is going to conveniently be in position, so actually, let me just hold my ground here. Oh, he has an Emperor, okay. Alright. No, he has a Widowmakers, so I'm wrong in that regard too, but I'm fine. Burn your plasma bombs, burn your torpedoes, that's fine. The lances are not too terrifying. I was a little bit worried they may be scarier than it was. So he has 2 Dictators and a Retribution then? That's weird. That's kind of a weird setup, but I do have fighters to help in this regard. The Warsphere is going to contribute. Now, I want to lock on and try and destroy these things. And we can mitigate these torpedoes really well, because my Sauces are going to dodge those simply enough. And I have detection. Now get the protectors again, soak this fire as much as possible. Level 10 fleet, Sauces are kind of disengaging. And can my bombers do the damage needed to? Now, prioritize system. Let's actually prioritize components since I have that window for it. So Sauces, you deal with these Widowmakers. That would actually make things strong for me at this point. He is locking on, so let's be careful of that. And Sauces, get on going, get aggressive. Because his favors aren't going to be very helpful. My Warspear's here, and actually it was detected. Was that the Inquisition reveal, or did... Oh, it's because it's shot, that's why. Okay. And we still have good railgun fire to contribute here in this regard. Now, I am boosting out of the way, so we'll see how helpful this is ultimately. Yeah, the crew Warsphere is going to dodge most of those. So, the strategy is to kind of force an overreaction from him. Although, I don't know why my prow by broadside is kind of not facing. Alright. Get turning, get repairing, and get these things to kind of flank the rear, ideally. Brace for impact, I have that going. By all means, keep hitting me there. Oh, he has the energy ram? Yeah, he has the energy ram, so... I do have brace for impact, though, so I still can do a world of hurt to him. The damage is just really spread out, so it does feel a little bit awkward. Okay, so disengage this, because I can. We have repair drones, so keep firing at the Retribution and murder it. If anything, I'm going to kill all 3 of these ships at once. It's what it's looking like so far. It's looking possible, although that secret missile could have been fired a little bit better. At a better angle, with that said. So, finish this retribution off, shall we? Be mindful of torpedoes. Be mindful of the torpedoes and just finish them off. Yeah, this is a weird match, I gotta say. I don't know how it really takes us here. But the crew Warsphere might still die because it's on all sorts of fire, even though, again, it's supposed to take only hull breaches, so I'm a little annoyed it doesn't work that way. Alright, Retribution is gone. Finish off this one little ship here. That's all that's left. And we have supercharged voice shield for this. And since he's a dictator, can't really do a whole lot in terms of damage just yet. So that felt really weird. It felt really weird because my Sauces were nowhere to support the Protectors. The Protectors had to fight the Retribution, and a crew had to deal with a dictator by itself. And yet they all pretty much died at pretty much the same time too. So ultimately I don't know how I should feel about this match. It was different. It was fun. It was a little bit of crisis management, having to manage multiple attack fronts, but that kind of is the intention of how I was aiming for. The Protectors kind of draw all the fire ideally. In this case it was the Retribution, I guess. The Sauces are supposed to be irritating at range, where they ideally are really awkward to engage or go after. Which apparently did work out well, mainly because he didn't have much firepower in the Dictators. That might have turned out differently if those were Overlords or, was it Tyrant, mind you. Then it might be a little more fearsome when I don't have adaptive deflectors or even didn't have access to a brace for impact for that matter. And I don't know what the crew Warsphere was supposed to be, considering the Protectors were supposed to draw fire too, so all in all it was still effective, I suppose. We destroyed everything all at once. And my Protector's one match away to its level 10. I'm excited. Let's get his 5th upgrade, and I think I'm actually going to get the enhanced sensors with that said for my level 10 upgrade. Finally deal with this one weakness I have of having to rely on the beacons to engage. Alright, 3214, I remember your name. I have absolutely no idea what I encountered the last time I fought you. Were you one of those Chaos players who raged at me or not? I have no idea. Nonetheless, I do need to take the Lances super seriously, so repair drones are probably going to be a great buffer here. Do I take the level 10? And by that I mean the Sauce here, which I equipped with a repair drone. Because I talked about how the Sauces are incredibly fragile just because of their 400 health pool. The adaptive deflector wouldn't have contributed too much there, and never mind the fact they have less shields in general even with the upgrades, so I don't have extended sensors, so I'm relying very heavily on my beacons, which is the one thing I really don't like about this, if I were to be honest. And I can get a Castellan to help with support fire. This is the maximum amount of repair drones I can get. With that said, although I do need to be careful about brute forcing with the beacons too much, because I need them to stick onto his cruisers, at least one that I can kill. And if he has micro warp jumps, that's going to complicate things quite a bit. I feel like anyway. But the one thing I do have going for me, if nothing else, is the fact I could keep moving towards him where he has to face his broadside to me. So, ultimately, I should be able to get close enough to him where I can maximize my fire potential with these railguns. But it comes down to how many stasis bombs he has, how effective he is at deterring me with the stasis bombs, and if I can avoid my guns bugging out. Alright, so let's see. We have a lot of gas clouds too, which doesn't help the matter a little bit. Yeah, because I'm worried he's going to use this gas cloud here to kind of like run to, because that's convenient for him, especially kind of, I'm encouraged to go a little bit to the left. Well, actually, that's not true. Alright, so enough talking, I suppose. Let's get this going. And I want the Sauceing back to kind of contribute with, because this is the perfect area where it can actually hit all 3 Protectors with a repair drone. We'll see. Although, I am putting my frigates on the side, which doesn't help me much, because they are just going to get shot down if they ever get focused, but I do need their extended sensors as well, with that said. Ah, damn it. I got the grouping all wrong. Because if I try and box select, it's just going to select the Protectors as well, so this is a little bit messier than it probably needs to be. Yeah, that's me there. No, I want to go Kion because again, he's going to be running from me quite a lot, and he has 4 ships, so all spread out in a wide arc.
Aircast ready for orders.
I just hope I don't give him a bad time there, because my past experience with Admiral level 8 Chaos fleets is they like to rage at me. I can kind of understand the sentiment a little bit, because since they don't have 75 armor on any of their Chaos ships, these railguns are ridiculous once I get in close. The obvious trick is getting close to begin with so I can use that damage potential. Whereas if he can safely keep me at a distance, and keep me detected for that matter, then he is going to do a lot of damage ignoring my armor, my adaptive deflector to a vague extent. I'm still going to have 25 armor on the shields, mind you, but he's going to get nice consistent damage, and that looks like that's probably a despoiler, if I had to guess. The speed difference suggests it's a despoiler, so this could be rough. Because I know how to deal with despoilers. I know how to deal with the bombers especially, and I have a messenger to also kind of help that with tremendously in that regard. I am not liking my close formation though, which, if I have to criticize Tau on anything, it's really just because of how close proximity they are with their extra whiff. It's actually been messing with my pathing some if I ever try and do hard turns. That's what it feels like. Look, I haven't really turned them all that much, and my protectors are already getting slowed down by each other. They're already slowing each other down, which is going to mess with pathing if I have to do like evasive maneuvers against like torpedoes or something, mind you. So that would be my one main criticism with Tau as far as just in general. So let's try and brute force this, because we can fire. Oh, this is a level 4 fleet, so I don't want to murder him too much. Okay, we're already dealing with his bombers. The Sauces are probably going to have to hang back some. And can I get out of the stasis bomb in time? Yes, I can. I kind of want to destroy the deck so it has no beak, so he has no sensors. Okay, we got a beacon on this thing. There's the lances in effect. So we do have a beacon on him, that's all. It's better than nothing at least. So let's just get out. I already lost my shield, so that's not as big of a deal as it sounds. And I just want to repair drones this up. So keep on moving, try and keep engaging, and try and do... Let's see, my frigates are getting isolated too, to an extent, but... Yeah, that was his beacon there, so it's that I flew into. And now I gotta be mindful of flying to the stasis bomb. Okay. Let's focus on this thing here. I haven't used my bombers just yet. And yeah, he saw it running when it's not going to help him in that regard a whole lot. Oh, and my Sauce's been bugged out there. I don't think it's going to do much fire. But I do have repair drones still. Let's just focus this thing down with his sensors. What is it? His supercharged void shields down is what I'm trying to say. So let's, with his damage being spread out, this might be a good opportunity just to lock on to him. Actually, I want to kill the generators. Oh, he doesn't have supercharged void shields, so never mind that. I was thinking maybe I should have like gone after the generators, because that would prevent him from using a supercharged or micro warp jump, but he doesn't even have it, so that's not an issue. Can I kill this thing quickly? The answer is yes, but how much am I going to lose in the process? Because my Sauces need to reposition. Alright, I'll let that live. We'll see if it falls through. Ooh, we've got a weapon destruction too. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The damage on the railguns is going to start getting ridiculous here. And I also have another repair drone. Eee, that is ridiculous. That was probably from Manta Bombers, mind you, because I have 3 Manta Bomb waves, but still, that is not pretty. Did I accidentally cancel his warp? I hope I didn't accidentally cancel his warp. Either way, this is going to get really awkward if he's going to start firing. Okay. Hold fire. We'll let it go for now. Yeah, that is brutal. I don't fault Chaos for raging because of that, mind you, but again, it's when I get close that's the problem. He can do so much damage to me when I'm at a distance. But yeah, that is brutal. And I don't know how to best I don't know how to really suggest how Chaos can mitigate this aside for not letting it happen. And with Stasis Bomb, they can easily deter me really damn well. The only sucky thing, of course, is the 5-minute cooldown. Oh well, am I? Let's see. I'm holding fire. Oh wait, that was the bombers that killed him. Either way, that is brutal. I will repeat, I don't fault Chaos for raging after that. I don't fault them, but again, he has perfect hitting lances at max range, so the real trick is can he engage me safely at a distance. Although, things are going to change drastically for Armada 2, because I don't think they mentioned anything about favors, but with the fact we're only going to have 2 skill slots for the Admiral ship, and 2 upgrades for everything else, I get a feeling that there are going to be no favors for any of the ships, unless they're going to be completely reworked as well. So a lot of the reason that was so brutal was because I can run him down so damn easily. Keep in mind, all my ships are going 200 unit speed, which is basically faster than any of his cruisers he had. If I had any other favor, or didn't have the air cache, mind you, I would be going 150 speed and then he can outrun me. It wouldn't be the most convenient for him, because again, he would have to fire with his broadside, but still. I am genuinely curious to see how that affects Tau's performance when they're not able to have their ridiculous turning speed and their 200 unit speed for practically every single cruiser in the game, or capital ship that they have. So I am genuinely curious about that and how it's going to change.